afternoon, Steel City. Welcome to the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all other sports. We are live again, but this time from part of my Steelers memorabilia section of my fan cave. On today's show, Pittsburgh, Paul Skeens has ultimately become a phenom. He is now must-see, must-watch TV. Make your appointments, Pittsburgh. Bucko fans, make your appointment next time this guy pitches. I will go over his past two starts with something that happened that I can truly say I never would have thought can happen. I have some comparisons to two other great pitching phenoms. These stats don't lie. The Pittsburgh Steelers have concluded their OTAs and mandatory minicamp. What's next? Oh yeah, Pittsburgh Steelers training camp. My trip there is booked. I will go over my 27th time attending and preview a position that is going to have a crazy competition for roster spot. Let's just say, as the position was quoted on being, let's get back to Minka Ball. The Pittsburgh Penguins will play a preseason game in Northern Ontario as part of the NHL Brass Hockey Contest. Our Penguins play this game for a worthy cause. Let's go, Pens! I have a fortune I was given for Father's Day by a very special person. I would like to share it with my IE Sports Radio family. And hey, I think it has came true already for the Yinzer Report. And it's Memorabilia Time Part 2. I will explain to you how this newly acquired, authenticated piece of memorabilia was first autographed by this World Series champion, Pittsburgh Pirates, who played for the We Are Family team. Right fielder, he's nicknamed the Cobra, and now it has become authenticated and very vintage. All this coming up for our Steel City fans, so come join me on the 23rd episode of the Yinzer Report, second live edition on StreamYard of the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sport. Let's go! Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio. This is your host, Ralph Calise. This is episode 23 total of the Yinzer Report and second live on StreamYard. And as you can tell, I'll move this way. I'll move that way. You can see my fan cave of the Pittsburgh Steelers. As you know me, my memorabilia is crazy. Let's just put it that way. But anyway, yes, welcome aboard. Happy post-Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Welcome for joining. I'll start off with IE Sports Radio for the past 10 years. IE Sports Radio has brought you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports, cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok to keep up with the latest in sports and with our shows. Check out our daily updated website, iesportsradio.com, for sports news, the IE Radio Sports Blog, our Hall of Fame, our Fans of the Month, pages dedicated to each podcast, our IE Community Forum, and stop by and check out the merch. Thank you for making IE Sports Radio a direct feed for all that is sports. And always, thank you for listening. All right, so before we get started today, I'll just give you a little preview of what's going to happen today. We're going to get into Paul Skeens, how he's become a phenom in Pittsburgh, in this podcast, his opinion. We'll get into some of that. I got a comparison with two other phenoms that pitched in baseball. We're going to get into the Steeler OTAs. I'm going to give you a day in the life of me going to training camp in Pittsburgh, in Latrobe. It's for the Steelers, but it's in Pittsburgh. It's in Latrobe, Pennsylvania. I'll give you a day, how a day goes in that. Talk about a position battle I want to bring up. And we'll get into a little bit of Penguins, being that the Stanley Cup is probably going to end tonight in some people's minds. This podcast is yes. And we'll get into something that's coming up with preseason for the Penguins already. And then we'll get into another piece of memorabilia, part 2. But this is going to be different. The piece of memorabilia did not meet this player for this piece of memorabilia that has been authenticated since. I will give you an idea on how I actually got the autograph. It's personal to me and something that I did, that I've been doing. And now, being that you guys know I'm retired, I have all the time in the world to do it. So it's a hobby of mine, and I'll get into that and explain to you how that happened. But let's pay the bills. Let's pay the electric bills and all those types of things. Let's get into our 2 sponsors, Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole nother planet, and Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. We'll get into those in just a moment. We'll be right back.
Hi, eSports Radio fans. This show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Hey there, eSports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
Welcome back to the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sport. And there you have it, our 2 sponsors, Planet Beef Jerky and Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. Check them both out. Can't go wrong with either one. I want to just say a special thank you for today's show to my producer out there, Mr. Larry B. Thank you for doing this with me. You're the best, Pat. You're the best, Larry. I love you. All right, so let's get into Mr. Paul Skeens and the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pirates are 35-37 as we speak. They're still a half game out of the last wild card spot, but they're hanging in there. And as you know, baseball is a marathon, as we've been saying. But Paul Skeens has come to the show, and he's really lighting it up. And he's become, in my eyes, a phenom now in Pittsburgh because just what he's been doing lately and what he's doing with the team and how they've been playing and he's got them basically in a playoff spot. It should be a fun time in Pittsburgh this year for the summer with these Pirates. So hopefully we can get into the playoffs. But getting back to Paul Skeens, I'm just going to go through some things that I have on him with his 7 starts, and then I'm going to do a comparison on how great he's been compared to a recently phenom pitcher named Steven Strasburg, and back in the late 80s, a pitcher for the New York Mets named Dwight Gooden. I'm sure many of you heard of both of those players, but you got the stats that compared to each one are unbelievable. So, like I said, Paul Skeens is one of the best pitchers in baseball. And in my eyes, I don't know if you listened to last week's show, I mentioned postseason awards, Cy Young and Rookie of the Year. This guy may be in there for both Cy Young and Rookie of the Year. But we'll see how that goes. Paul Skeens is 6-1 in his starts. He has allowed 3 or fewer runs in each start. He has the highest strikeout rate in the NL, and the 4th best ERA. This is after 7 games, people. Again, I mentioned this in prior shows also. If you're not watching Paul Skeens, you're cheating yourself as a sports fan, because he's must-watch TV. He's must-watch TV when he gets on that mound. He pitched last night versus the Reds at PNC Park. There was a delay in the game, but he came out. He threw 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, 1 base on ball, 7 strikeouts, and he received the win. 96 pitches, 69 strikes, and 18 whiffs. That's 18 swings and misses. He's 22 years old with a 2.29 ERA in the MLB. Now, wait, you'll see what the comparisons coming up with that, what that is. And 7 career starts, 39.1 innings, 52 Ks, a 2.29 ERA, 4-0 record on the season in 7 games. Could you say we're witnessing history here in Pittsburgh with this pitcher? Time will tell. Now, let's get back to when he pitched versus the Cardinals. Last Tuesday, I was on the air last Tuesday, and I told you he was pitching that game. So what happened in this game, he pitched 6.1 innings, 5 hits, no runs, no walks, 8 strikeouts. He received a no decision because he was in a pitching duel with the Cardinal pitcher at the time. I believe his name was Mike Mikolos. I don't know if I said his name right, but I believe that's who it was. So he left the game. It was a 0-0 tie. The Pirates went on to win the game 1-0. They scored a run in the 9th inning. He threw 103 pitches with 74 strikes and, again, 14 whiffs. So you see his whiff rate. Nobody's really making contact with him. But something happened in this game when he was coming out of the game that I mentioned in the beginning that I've never really seen in 50 years of watching baseball. Now, mind you, he's in St. Louis. He's being pulled from the game. I believe he walked the batter or gave up a hit. And as he's walking off the mound in St. Louis, now you people know out there, St. Louis fans, they know their baseball. There's no fooling around with those people in baseball. If I tell you, if you go back, I'm sure you can find it on social media, Paul Skeens got a standing ovation in St. Louis. St. Louis Cardinal fans. Tips of the hat, standing. They were going nuts. You would have thought he was in Pittsburgh, the way they were going crazy. I was astonished when I saw it. I couldn't believe it. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. So, are we saying we have our guy? Like I said, time will tell, but he's really really lit the spark here for Pittsburgh. So what happened in this game? Like I said, he had the no decision, and the standing ovation was unbelievable. And I really think we have the next rising star in Pittsburgh sports. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you a little comparison of how he has done compared to players of recent and not as far back as the late 1980s, early 90s, as far as pitching phenoms that have come into the MLB. So the 2 players I have the comparisons for are Steven Strasburg, Recently, 2010 was his major league debut. He pitched for the Nationals. And Dwight Gooden of the Mets, the New York Mets, back in 1984 was his first start. Like I said, they were the next two. They were two phenoms like Paul Skeens is being deemed coming up. And here's the stats. So the one-loss record of Paul Skeens right now is 4-0. He's got a 2.29 ERA. We'll do Strasburg. Strasburg was 3-2 with a 2.32 ERA. So right there, Strasburg has 3 wins. Skeens has 4, but the ERA is minuscule. It's the same. Now Dwight Gooden had the same record as Strasburg at 3-2, and he had a little lofty ERA at 3.72. So that's a little different there, but you could see where this is going. Back now, I did pitches. I went deep into these stats here because I wanted to see really how he compared to these two guys of me following them. So I couldn't come up with any pitches for Dwight Gooden. I don't know if they statted that back in the days. I don't know. I'm sure I can get it, but I didn't come up with it for the show. Sorry about that. But here it is. Paul Skeens compared to Steven Stroudsburg pitches-wise. Pitches, 665 pitches for Skeens, 652 for Stroudsburg. Now, mind you, this is only 7 games in their career. First 7 games of their career. Strikes for Skeens, 457. Strikes for Stroudsburg, 433. You see how even this is? The Pats are really the same. Like I said, I didn't get Dwight Gooden's pitches. I would have loved to got it. I'll look it up and try to get it for further time. The runs. Now, runs given up. Earned 10 runs for Skeens, earned run 10s, 4 home runs allowed. Stroudsburg had 12 runs, 11 earns allowed, no home runs. He gave up no home runs in his first 7 games. Dwight Gooden gave up 21 runs. 16 of them were earned, and he also gave up no home runs in his first 7 games. And then the other stats I came up with, Skeens has 154 batters faced. Stroudsburg had 169 faced. And Gooden had 167 faced. So it's basically all the same. And the opponent's batting average for Skeens right now is 215.215 batting average. And the batting average for the batting average for Stroudsburg, 213. So that's minuscule 2 points. Dwight Gooden's was a little higher. It was a batting average about 239. But still, very low, very low. So you can see how these stats compare. And as far as awards, I mentioned the awards last week. I don't know what's going to happen, but we'll see. He had Stroudsburg, 3-time All-Star, World Series champ in 2019. He was the World Series MVP in 2019. Wins leader in 2019. And the strikeout leader in 2014. Dwight Gooden was a 4-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champ, 86 with the Mets, I believe 2000 with the Yankees. He was an NL Cy Young Award winner in 1985. He had the Triple Crown in 1985. Triple Crown for the pitcher is wins, Ks, and ERA. So he led the league in all 3 of those categories. Was the Rookie of the Year in 1984. That's what we're hoping Skeens could follow that. He was the MLB wins leader in 1985, the ERA leader in 1985, and the MLB strikeout leader in 84, 85, 2 years in a row. So if Paul Skeens can get to any of those accolades of Stroudsburg and Gooden, we'll be riding high for sure in Pittsburgh. But I came up with this comparison. I want to give a shout out to Ricky Kay of the New York Sports Show. He helped me along with the stats for Stroudsburg, and I thank you, Ricky, for that. And I thought it was a good idea just to mention it, just to give you an idea of why I think Paul Skeens is becoming a phenom. So he at this time is doing well. He's 4-0, and we'll see what happens. He pitched last night, so I guess his next start will come over the weekend. And I had their records. So at home, Paul Skeens is he's 2-0 at home. He's 2-0 on the road, and no decisions in the other 3 games. Strasburg had 5 home games and 2 away. He was 3-2, and 3 home and 4 away for Gooden. He was also 3-2 with 2 no decisions. So that even their records, home and away, they're both the same. Everything is the same. It's just a wild comparison. So we'll monitor that as the summer goes along. Like I said, should be an exciting time in Pittsburgh, and we'll see what happens with the Pirates getting into the race. They were, like I said, half game out, and summer should be fun in Pittsburgh. All right, so that's it for Paul Skeens. I'm going to mention a little thing that's coming up with the Pittsburgh Penguins, being that we're the Stanley Cup is probably going to be over tonight in my eyes. The Florida Panthers are playing the Edmonton Oilers, and they're up 3-1. So we'll see what happens with that. But I think it'll be over tonight. And the preseason schedules, the NHL put the preseason schedules out. Hold on one second. So like I was saying, the preseason schedules came out, and the Penguins are scheduled for the NHL to play in Northern Ontario. So like I said, the preseason schedule for some teams have already came out with all their games, but this game, the Penguins will play an exhibition game in Northern Ohio in the fall. They will face the Ottawa Senators on Sunday, September 29th, as part of the NHL's Kraft Hockeyville contest. It'll be the 3rd Hockeyville appearance by the Penguins, which hosted the game at the Cambria County War Memorial in Johnston in 2015 and the UPMC Lemieux Sports Complex in Cranberry 2019. The schedule includes funding for rink improvements and youth hockey development in the host community. The location and time for the broadcast has not been set, but it's for a good cause in Northern Ontario. And as you know, Sidney Crosby is from Canada, so I'm sure that had part of it. And they will be playing an exhibition game there with the Ottawa Senators, and it's for a good cause. And the Penguins, of course, are a noted hockey team, so why wouldn't you want the Penguins there to do it with the stars that are on their team as well? So I just wanted to throw that in there, being that the Stanley Cup is probably going to be over, and there's not really much hockey news going on. So that's what I had on the Penguins, and we'll keep an eye on that as the time comes. All right, let's take a break. Let me regroup here, and when I get back, we'll get into the Steelers' OTAs and minicamp that just ended, and I'll let you in on a little time that I'm going to be having in Latrobe, where they have their training camp, and what a day in the life of Ralph Calise is at training camp in Latrobe. All right, so this is the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back.
What's good, fight fans? It's your boy, Marcus Los Great, here to give you what you want, here to give you what you need. Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm coming to you live, straight from your mama's basement with a crispy, awesome white tea. We are coming to you live every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
It's IE Sports Radio. It is your direct feed for all that is sports. It is Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris every Tuesday night right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris is the most comprehensive view on Philadelphia sports exclusively right here on IE Sports Radio. You know what it is, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tuesday night, IE Sports Radio, Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris.
Welcome back. This is the Yinzer Report. IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. All right, I had to don the hat. It's like 90 degrees where I'm doing this broadcast, so my head was burning up and I was starting to see flashes, so I took the hat off, so here I am in live color. I'm back. This is the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. All right, let's get into some Steelers now. So they just finished their OTAs and mandatory minicamp, and there are a couple of things I got out of it was that it's quite possible here that Mike Tomlin has put together his best collective coaching staff of his career with the group that he has now. He now has it a major factor it was a major factor during the minicamp. It was a standout. You could see through all the drills, the new coaches were all impactful. They were all in, and they were grilling the players. It was really something to see. So when I get to training camp, I'm gonna as you'll see in a couple of minutes, I'll mention to you how I do it. I'm going to speak to some of the coaches and hopefully get their ideas on what happens, in training camp, being that they're new with Mike Tomlin and how they like it. And one of the interesting fact that came out was 2 years ago, the Steelers named captains Cameron Hayward and Najee Harris. Both of these guys have been very speakful on their upcoming contracts, whether they're going to be signed or not. And right now they're the two captains for the Steelers, two of probably like 4 or 5, but they have contract squabbles coming up and they're captains. I mean, my thought on it is your captain is the captain of your team. This is supposed to be a big year for the Steelers. And they're the captains, and they're bringing up their contract status. More Cam Hayward more than Najee Harris. Najee Harris has been a little quiet about it, but he's doing what he has to do, and I think they're gonna sign both. I think they'll sign both. I think it's just something that they go through during contracts and all that. So we'll see what happens with that. Like I said, I'll be going to training camp. But I just want to talk about a position battle before I get there. That's going to be insane this year. Now, of course, I'm a Steeler fan, so I know these things. But if you're not a Steeler fan, I don't know if you're going to mention you're going to know the names. But if you are a Steeler fan, I'm just going to read off what the Steelers secondary is going to possibly have this year. And it was quoted, as I mentioned in the beginning, that we have to get back to Minka ball. That was quoted by the defensive coordinator, Terrell Austin, after the minicamp. So as you can see, Minka Fitzpatrick is a big part of the defense. He's the center fielder. He's the guy who plays, free safety. and he just hasn't been a Minka Fitzpatrick like that year he was 2 years ago. Injuries, of course, have garnered him not to be as good as he was. He played out of position all year last year. As you know, Steelers were signing players off the streets to come in and play with all their injuries. But I got together. Here's their safeties and cornerbacks that are listed for training camp coming up. Just listen to some of the names. Okay, you have Anthony Avert. You have Kalen Barnes. You have Beanie Bishop Jr. You guys remember Beanie Bishop Jr.? My son spoke about him on the draft show. We got to keep an eye on him. Thomas Graham Jr., Dante Jackson, Joey Porter Jr., Darius Rush, Josiah Scott. They signed Cameron Sutton, but I'll get into that in a second. Braylon Arnold, Deshaun Elliott, Jalen Elliott, Minka Fitzpatrick, DeMonte Casey, Miles Killebrew, Nathan Menders, and Trenton Thompson. Now, some of you out there who are not Steel fans, you're probably saying, who are these guys? They don't sound familiar. But when you look at it, the Anthony Avert was signed from Baltimore. He didn't play much his past couple of years due to injury. But in his career, he has 114 tackles and 23 pass deflections. Now, the Steelers, they like big cornerbacks because of the division that we're in. Joe Burrow, Deshaun Watson, the wide receivers. You got Lamar Jackson. And I forgot to mention Corey Trice. That was a rookie cornerback last year who got hurt, who didn't even play, who had a great mini camp again this year. So he's one guy to watch out for. You have Dante Johnson, who they got with the trade with Carolina for Deontay Jackson for Deontay Johnson. And he is 303 tackles in his career with 46 pass deflections. Again, you can see, hey, Jim B, how are you? Hope it's all well, Jim B. Thanks for joining. You could see his pass deflections, 46. So that's a lot. That's a lot. And he's been in the league 6 years. So you can see he's a good cover cornerback. This guy, the name speaks for itself, Joey Porter Jr. He's going to be the main guy on the cornerback. He had 10 pass deflections in his rookie season last year. So it just goes to show you the Steelers, they need guys that can play at corner. Darius Rush was a big part of the defense last year when Minka went out. He played actually both spots. He played cornerback and safety. Joey Scott is a rookie. He's from Michigan State. Now they signed Cameron Sutton. Now, Cameron Sutton played for the Steelers 3 years ago, and he left and signed a big contract with Detroit. Cameron Sutton had a run-in with the Detroit police, and I think it was a battery assault. So right now he's under scrutiny with the NFL. He's going to be getting a suspension forthcoming before the season. How many games? Nobody knows. It's up to the NFL. But any Steelers fan that remembers Cameron Sutton when he played for us, he was one of the guys when he played for our defense. And now he's coming back. So we'll see what happens with that. But again, like I said, it's just going to leave a spot open for one of these other guys to try to get in. All right, then you got Braylon Arnold. He is he's a free safety. He plays safety. So he's going to have his work cut out, try to get a job. Now you have Deshaun Elliott. He was the free agent they signed from Miami. So he played in Miami. He played with Minka Fitzpatrick. So you could see, Ravens with each other. Deshaun Elliott played with Minka, so they know each other. He's probably going to be a starter. Jalen Elliott from Notre Dame. He's vying for free safety. Then you have Minka Fitzpatrick, who he himself said, I need to get back to Minka ball. And that's, like I said, because he was playing out of position. He was hurt. They were using him all over. He's not just a center fielder guy like, remember Troy Polamalu? That's basically what Minka Fitzpatrick is. DeMonte Casey, another guy who filled in last year very well until he got hurt. So he's going to be in the mix. Miles Killebrew is one of the other Steeler captains. I mentioned the captains. He is the special teams captain, but his position is safety. So he'll be in and out of the lineup. And then you have this kid, Trenton Thompson. This is his second year at San Diego State. He came in after with injuries. He came in last year, and I remember he had a big interception in Cincinnati versus not Joe Burrow because he was hurt, but against the Bengals, and they won that game on the road. So he's viable. So you could see all these guys that are going to be vying for a roster spot. I mean, of course, you're going to have your ones are going to be probably Dante Johnson at cornerback, Joey Porter at cornerback, Deshaun Elliott's going to be your safety number one, Minka Fitzpatrick your number one, and then you're going to have the battle for the 2s, 3s, and probably special teams if the other guys don't make it. So we'll see what happens with that, and that should be an interesting battle. So now, I am going to training camp when it comes up in a couple of weeks. This will be my 27th time going to training camp. I've gone all 27 years with my friend who I call my brother, Gregory Lapani. I don't know if he's watching the show today. He said he was going to try to chime in. But anyway, we've been going for 27 years, and we're heading out. We're leaving the 4th of August, and we're staying till the 8th of August. So I'm just going to give you a little insight of how it goes. Our 11th year at training camp, we were picked out by Steelers. How would you say it? I don't want to say media, but it was a publication. It's called Steeler Digest. We were picked out by one of the people who were involved with the publication. And we got to talking with them, and, because we have like an accent, being that we're from New York, as you probably know, or if you didn't know, that's where we are from. We stick out. So the person came over to us and said, "Hey, where are you guys from?" So we got to talking, and my friend said, "Yeah, we're from New York." So the guy goes, "Oh, all right." He goes, he says, "Is this your first time here?" And we were like, "No, this is our 11th season in a row coming to training camp." So this was in 2007. I have, so the gentleman goes, "Oh, okay." He goes, "Would you mind taking a picture for the next issue of Steeler Digest? And I'll put you guys in the fan photo page." And I said to the guy, I says, "Fan photo? What are you talking about? What fan photo page? We have no idea what he's talking about." So you got to laughing and everything. And next thing I know, he says, "Come on, get together, take the picture." So I'll post a picture of what it looks like. This is, mind you, now this is in 2007. The guy snapped a picture, and they put us in the fan photo section of the Steeler Digest. So the photo looks like it's a cover of the publication, and then on the bottom it has 2007 photos of the fan, and it's me and my friend, and I don't know if you can see my shirt. I was trying to get the picture up. Let's see if I can get the picture up. I'm wearing the same shirt. Oh, there it is. It's up now. Okay. Thanks, Larry. The picture is up there now. So as you can see, that's the publication. Steeler, that was the 75th season. There you go. There's the picture on the bottom. That's my friend Gregory Lapani. That's my brother. He's basically my brother. He's not my friend. He's my brother. And that's me holding up the number 1 signal. Now, funny thing about this photo, you see the shirt I'm wearing? Once the picture comes down, I'm wearing it right now. See it? Unbelievable. Who would think a shirt from 2007 still fits me? Unbelievable. But yeah, so the guy put us in the publication, and that was it. We were hooked. So like I said, we've been going to training camp for 27 years now. And what we do is we get there, we meet up with some people, and training camp is Marcus. Welcome to the show. Thank you, sir. Yes, Larry, it is also. It gets better. What we do is it's Halloween time in Pittsburgh, in Latrobe. It's Latrobe. It's in Latrobe, Pennsylvania. It's at St. Vincent's College. It's about 40 miles from Pittsburgh. It's Halloween. You don't wear nothing but Steeler gear. If you're walking around in Latrobe and they see you without Steeler gear, you're deemed as like an outsider. So I have to pack from the trip. I have to pack 4, 5, 6 days of Steeler gear, and I wear Steeler gear every day, and that's all I wear. So, like I said, 27 years we've been going. What we do is we head to the camp. It's on the St. Vincent's College football field, and we hang out. Like I said, there's a coach's path where you're able to stand, and you see all the coaches come down. Sometimes you see Mike Tyler, sometimes they'll go around if there's a lot of people. And all you have to do is just say hello, and they stop and they want to talk. So whoever, if you know who the coach is, you can talk to him or whatever. We meet Craig Wolfley every year. Craig Wolfley is the radio broadcaster for the Steelers. He used to play for the Steelers. He was an offensive lineman. And we ask him every year, who is your camp demon? He calls him a camp demon. Camp demon is the player that he sees as being the best player that he thinks is going to come out of the camp and make the team. And it's just great. We take pictures with him and whatever. As the day goes along, the practice goes on. You get to watch the practice. You hear everything that's being said because you're right on top of the field. And you take it all in, and you wait for the thing to end. And then they have like meet and greet areas where you could go meet some of the players if they want to sign an autograph or whatever it is. Basically, mostly not all of it, but some of my memorabilia is from there. And you get to meet the players. But the one thing that we do when we go is we go on a Friday night. It's called Friday Night Lights. It's at the high school football stadium in Latrobe. It's Latrobe High School Football Stadium. This is something to be seen. The Steelers come from St. Vincent's to Latrobe High School on school buses in their gear, and they call it Friday Night Lights. Because in Pittsburgh, I guess, and around the surrounding areas, football is king on a Friday night for high schools. So what they do is they load up 5, 6 buses, 6, 8 buses, whatever, and they come from Latrobe. They stay in the dorms, by the way. The Steeler players stay in the dorms at Latrobe. It's like college, and they get in a yellow school bus, 6, 7 load bus. They come, and now what happens is they start the thing at 7:00, and you just stand around or whatever. And what you do is you get close up against the gate, and for the first 20 minutes, you watch them come off the bus onto the field, and they filter out around the stadium, around the field. As people are around the gates, you can reach right over the gate. Like I'm reaching out to you, you just reach out over there. And if you get lucky, a Steeler comes up to you, and for 15, 20 minutes, they sign an autograph for you. If you bring something, they sign it. They'll sign a terrible towel, whatever you have. It's a great gesture on the part of the Steelers. It's a great night. It's fun. And as I've always said, if you have the chance to see your team in training camp, you must try it. You got to do it. You got to do it. I mean, I don't think I do it like the Steelers do it, but still, just to take it all in. It's football. It's the beginning of football season, and you can't go wrong. My son he's been coming now with us for the past 10 years, I want to say. He takes it to another level, and when this happens, he buys himself he gets like a helmet, a mini helmet or a large helmet, and what he does is he runs around the whole field for all 20 minutes and just gets as many autographs as he can. It's great. It's great. Great time. So yeah, that's coming up. 27th year. We're coming into camp, and I can't wait to go. And I'll see. Maybe I'll get some interviews, or I can get some interviews, and we'll go from there. All right. Let's. Time's running low here. I have a fortune I want to bring out to my IE Sports Radio family. I was out that Father's Day dinner the other night. I actually had 2. I was with a good friend of ours. Her name is Mary Shea. And we had Chinese food for Father's dinner 2 days before Father's Day. And, when you have Chinese food, they bring you the cookies and everything. And this fortune came out of her cookie. And she goes, "Oh, my God, Ralph." She goes, "This is yours. Take it." IE Sports Radio family, whoever's out there, whoever's listening, I want to share this with you guys because this basically tells everybody what we are. And here it goes. This was the fortune. Share your knowledge of sports with others, and you'll be a valuable mentor. Does that say it all for us as podcasters on IE Sports Radio? Don't forget. Yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys, and I thought that was great. So, Mary, I thank you very much for this. I love you, and I'll hold this for every show that I do and think of you when I see it. Thank you, Mary. All right, so let's take a break, and I'll be back, and I'll give you a quick summary of this piece of memorabilia and show it to you, and we'll be right back. This is the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all other sports.
Hey, sports fans. Are you in the market for Florida sports or just keeping up with the latest in the Panhandle? Palm Tree Sports is a dedicated audio hub to all things sports in the Sunshine State. We cover current events, big news, heavily favored opinions all across the NFL, NBA, MLB, and so much more. So come check us out every Saturday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For a down south education on Florida sports and athletics, it's hosted by yours truly, Corey Pujols, and is powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, New York? This is Ricky K coming at you at the NY State of Sports, a new show here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Listen to me every Thursday afternoon as we bring you the latest takes on the Yankees, Mets, Jets, Giants, Knicks, Nets, Rangers, Devils, and Islanders. Plus, you get some college hoops and what's the local sports events going on in the area. It's a state that never sleeps, so why not get the opinions and sports takes that never sleep? Again, every Thursday, 2 p.m. to the NY State of Sports. We'll see you then.
Welcome back. Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio. Your direct feed for all other sports. I just saw in the chat, my good friend Ray Mann just popped in. How you doing, Ray? Thanks for joining. And also, I would like to say, hey, Taryn, I saw you at the beginning. I forgot to give you your props, bro. Thanks for joining in, man. You know my take on you, man. You're a legend and a role model for this radio station and myself. Thanks for joining in. All right, so it's memorabilia time, part 2. I hope you guys are enjoying the memorabilia part. If you are, if you're not, get in touch with me at Calise R786 on Twitter. Also, the link with the show is IE Sports Radio on Twitter, and the Yinzer Report _IE. So this piece, again, like last week with the Heinz Ward, this is an authentic piece. Now, this is insane. This piece. This is a 1979 All-Star Game ticket stub of Dave Parker. Dave Parker was the All-Star Game MVP of that game, and here it is. I just don't want the glare to get in the picture. You can see he signed it and he put All-Star MVP. Now, if you listen to the show 2 or 3 shows ago, I threw my hat in there for the MLB to get this guy in the Hall of Fame. All right, and there is That is the Beckett authentication right there. And the stats on it are MLB All-Star Game, July 17, 1979. This is considered a vintage piece of memorabilia. At the Kingdome in Seattle, the National League won 7-6 versus the American League. MVP Dave Parker. Autograph grade, 10. And what I said last week, you can't get no better. And the ticket was graded a 4, very good to excellent. So for 1979, that is a pretty awesome ticket. You can't go wrong. All right. Now, I did not meet Dave Parker for this. I just want to quickly go over how I get my autographs. I got to laugh because when I tell these stories and my wife is around, I usually tell them when my wife is around, she calls them love letters. So what I do is I write a letter to, I belong to this community. If you see me on Twitter at my handle, you see I belong to this community. It's called hashtag TTM, hashtag TTM success. What that stands for is through the mail. So what you do is you send a letter to the player through the mail. And there are 2 websites you can go on to get the players' addresses. It's sportscollectors.net and Sports Forum TTM. You go on those websites, you sign up. I think you pay like a $10 fee for life. And they list all the addresses and successes of all the players. So here's a quick view of what, as I just said, my wife actually laughed. She calls them love letters. So here's what I do. This is what I'm sending out tomorrow for a player. This is for Jim Zorn. Anybody heard of Jim Zorn? Jim Zorn was a quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks. So here is I write him a letter. I put his name, his stats on the top, stats on the bottom. I put a couple of stickers, and I write him a letter. I don't think we have much time to read the letter, but as you can see, I write him a letter. I write the letter. I put in this one I have for him, I have his rookie card, and I have remember those little mini helmets you used to put 25 cents in the machine for, and used to come out in that plastic ball? I'm going way back, guys. I have a million of them, and I start sending them to the players. And what I do is I package it up, I take it to the post office, and hey, if you guys want to write to Jim Zorn, this is what it looks like when I send it to him. I put his address. I threw like a $5 bill in there for him, so he signs it, and there it is. So, like I tell everybody when I do this, if you're a sports fan, if you're a sports guy that played in the NFL, MLB, hockey, I send it to a lot of people, and you get this in the mail, you wouldn't be intrigued to see what's inside of it. I mean, some people think it's you're ruining their people's privacy, but it's a big thing. It's a big thing. If you never heard about it, you can look into it. And so like I said, I've been retired now for 6-7 months. I was even doing this before I was retired. I do the podcast now with Larry found me and he got me to do the podcast, and that's what I do in my spare time when I have I have a lot of spare time now, so that's what I do. And that's how I get some of my autographs, and then I send that out to Beckett, and I get it authenticated, and it comes back how it comes back like that, encased, encapsulated, and the grades and everything. So I've been doing pretty well. None of these were sent to Ben's house, so those are all bought or collected or had him sign at camp. All right, so that's it for today, I guess. We're coming towards the end of the show. And just to remind you, today is Tuesday. There are 5 other shows coming up on IE Sports Radio. Gen B is next with the Cleveland show. Then you have Patty B, Buffalo Huddle. You got Chris and Bobby with the Philly Sports Talk show. You have Adam and Zachary. I don't know if they're doing their show tonight or tomorrow. Yeah, I think they might be doing it live during the game tonight. I saw something on Twitter about it. And then, finish it up with Mr. Cale Henderson, Vegas Sports. He's a good podcast. Listen to that one. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in again live. Sorry for that little mishap in the middle there. thanks again. This is the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Have a great night. Thank you, Larry B. You're the man. And we'll be talking to you next week. Have a good night.